It's time now for Empowered Family Talk with Phrantceena Halres.
Do you want to empower families and young people in your community? Then take the time to make a tax-deductible contribution to the Coach Tate Fund. The Coach Tate Foundation is dedicated to helping young people and their families in learning and passing on the kinds of life skills that we all need to succeed. All too often, we hear about kids and their families having encountered life's difficulties that could have been easily avoided by knowing better decision-making skills, from anger management to money management to something as simple as learning to manage how we spend our time or how we use our job skills. Make a donation to the Coach Tate Fund. It'll help kids who need help and their families too. Make your contribution to the Coach Tate Fund. Get details at www.coachtatefoundation.com. And oh, by the way, thank you.
May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Good morning. It's family time, and welcome back to Empower Family Talk right here on Praise 107.9. Right here in the beautiful sunshine state of Jacksonville, Florida. We the people hang it forward in this 21st century as we come together to balance these scales of justice within our accountability. Are we ready? Well, I want to truly introduce accountability. And my special co-host today, Mr. Marques Ogden. Good morning, Marques. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Phrantceena. How are you doing today?
We're doing very well, thank you. In light of all things, we're excited to be here and to share with our listeners on today. And the key that we want to talk about, Marques, is, we're working on the New America, inclusive multicultural leadership. And we're leading up to the conference in November and to discuss key tenets that it takes to develop family and community in our current situation today. Now, one key that we're going to talk about today, Marques, is accountability. And as I introduce your book, Success Cycles, and we talk about accountability, I noticed in your book you're very strong with accountability sets a culture of excellence through accountability. Can you share with us more about accountability in your success cycle?
Yeah, Phrantceena. Accountability in the success cycle is all about one major foundational pillar, taking ownership of the actions that go on in your own life. So many people talk about how they want to be the best, how they want to do the best things, how they want to help other people, they want to rise to success. A lot of people talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. And I remember, Phrantceena, when I was a custodian working in downtown Raleigh, making $8.25 an hour, and that was an honest, hard-working job, and I enjoyed it because it was something I did to take care of my family, and something I could do where I could do other things and listen to different podcasts, things like that, to try to better myself. But what really changed for me, and the accountability in my life kicked into high gear, when someone's trashed, rotten banana peels, spoiled milk, everything horrible you could think of got on my body and my skin and my clothes. And then I went and put my head in my hands on the curb, and I started to cry. And I realized, Phrantceena, that was what was missing, was accountability. So to me, accountability is all about taking the ownership of your own life and also just being the captain of your own ship. And you control your destiny, nobody else. So if you make a mistake, own it, fix it, and move on.
I love that. I love this so much for our New America, because I'll share my story with you, Marques, as we've talked about. You shared yours so beautifully last week. When it comes to accountability, I don't think we as entrepreneurs understand that when we're owners of a business and we have employees that we hold accountable for getting their job done, and they in turn hold us accountable for being their support. My story in 2014, as we know, we had a nuclear security company, and we had to file Chapter 13 due to internal corruption. And you talk about accountability. Yeah, my lawyer sat down and said, Phrantceena, this has happened. You're the owner. You're accountable. Yes, that happened. It was an employee, but you're the owner. So I share that story to say the importance that I learned personally for accountability and being able to stand strong and stand up and say, I am accountable for my actions, my deeds, even for the hiring of employees. Have you found that as a tenet that we need to be aware of as entrepreneurs, the accountability on both sides?
Oh, absolutely, Phrantceena. That, for example, in our business, I have a business partner. I have people that help me with different parts of this. We have a website design. We have someone that helps us with our trademark and our patent. We have someone that helps us with videography work. And everybody that's on our team is accountable to each other and accountable to the mission. If you're going to have any type of successful business, brand, anything in life, people have to have a shared vision together, but that shared vision has to be glued together by accountability. If you have a vision with someone who shares something that's similar, but there's no accountability, there's no ownership, there's no anyone saying, I'm going to do my part no matter what, then what happens is you can create a culture that can become toxic. So it's so important that everything you do in life, the foundation of your business as an entrepreneur, people that you hire to bring to your organization, to your inner circle, everything has to have the foundation and glue of accountability to hold it together at the highest level.
Absolutely. And your story, just a living testimony indeed, about the $2 million, your client held you accountable for your services that you offered to them for a price. And whether it was a good or bad situation, you stood up to the plate and said, I am Marques Ogden. I am accountable for this, and I will correct it. Is that?
That is correct.
That is correct. That's powerful.
Well, and here's the thing, I did the work, and then when I didn't get paid back by developer and contractor, I went bankrupt. And what happens, Phrantceena, is that when I really sat down when I had that pivotal moment as a custodian, I sat down and I realized that I did work that I shouldn't have done because I didn't have a signed contract. And if I don't have a signed contract, then how can I absolutely expect that client to actually pay me? I took their word, I shook their hand, but that's not enough. So today I realize I'm fully accountable. The person that lost his business was me. Wasn't my partner, wasn't the client, wasn't the developer, because I didn't have to do the work. But I did it, and I trust the client, and it backfired, and that's what happened.
Well, and those are the lessons learned that we're paying it forward for the next generation, which I love so dearly, in the new America, when we talk about the importance and how valuable accountability is, even for human resources directors today that are looking to hire employees into their workforce, whether remotely, which we're looking at today, more remote workers from home than we did in the past. You come to an office place. So accountability has surfaced as a new way of doing things in our workforce, holding employees accountable. And the second part, and I want to see if you agree with this, is How do you believe holding ourselves accountable brings value add to our products and services in the greater community?
Phrantceena, everything we do as entrepreneurs starts and ends with us. If we don't believe it, we can never see it. And if we don't have accountability to take ownership of our product, of our business, of our services, we're not going to succeed. I tell people all the time, great businesses are built off these three things. Number one, they have strong operational excellence, internal and external communications and policies. They have a great quality product that has great client satisfaction. And the third thing they have, Phrantceena, is they have excellent customer service to allow clients and customers to get feedback, and they have processes and systems in place to take that feedback and actually do something with it to make a better brand. So like you said, the accountability has to start with us. The value add has to come from us as the business owners saying, here we are, we're going to take ownership, we're going to make this work, and everything stops with us. The buck stops with us, like it did with you with your business, like it did with me with my business. That's how the world and the new America needs to work to go forward in a positive light.
Amen. And to that, and this is such a passion and a key tenet in our new America. It's just a worthy topic for homework. And one of the key abilities of accountability that we're facing today, particularly with our children, when they encounter unaccountability in the leadership roles that we have in our city government, in our churches, in our schools, in our highest level of positions throughout our society. How do we teach our children that it's okay to hold their teachers accountable for their actions and deeds without being unruly?
So what we have to do is we as parents have to teach our children how to communicate in a manner that is very positive, it's very polite and respectful. And again, when your teacher's doing something that's not being accountable, you should go to that teacher and speak with them. Again, students have a right to speak up. But again, it's not what you say. It's all more about how you say it. I think we all understand we don't disrespect our teachers. We don't disrespect anyone, but especially adults as children. But the way in which we say something, don't be condescending. Don't be something where you're looking for a quick change overnight. Because, again, teachers are people just like anyone else. And people that are trying to become better and evolve, it takes time. It doesn't end. It doesn't happen in an instant. So I feel we as parents need to do a good job of saying, you have a discussion or an issue or have a healthy dialogue, then talk to that person, talk to that teacher, but be respectful and always keep your tone one that is non-condescending, non-threatening, and one is actually about trying to come up with solutions to problems that you might be having with that individual.
Yes, and that's the key tenet here that we want to keep paying forward as we have these seminars and workshops in the new America. Accountability. Accountability is on the table. So, Marques, I'd like for you to address, if you will, and I believe we have a caller that's called in, and we want to pivot to accountability in real time. In reality, as our charity, as you know, is steeped in creating solutions for the entire population of our citizens, our children, alternative solutions to what we see today. And could you speak about the new project, basically, that share some good news with us on our economy and holding folks accountable? Can you share that good news with us? And our callers called in to speak with us about that.
Yeah, so, we spoke earlier about the new process that people are trying to do, looking around, coming in and trying to make sure that we have ways to kind of help in the new America move forward with maybe looking at ways to eliminate some type of tax bill, some type of credit card debt. We're trying to find ways, Phrantceena, to maybe make a better new America and pivot to help people not have to deal with a lot of the things that hold them down or a lot of the things that cause them stress. And they're trying to actually work on this right now. I think it's a great thing. And it has pros and cons like anything else, but I'm sure we'll ask the caller. I have a great question. It's really about trying to find ways, Phrantceena, to make things in the new America move more smoothly, where, like you talked about earlier, accountability and ownership can be at the forefront and try to find ways to make it less stressful for people as they're trying to live their best life they can in the new America.
That's exactly right. And it's called, that project we're talking about that we've discovered with our legal research team, is the National Economic Security and Recovery Act that was actually adopted in 10 years ago, in the year 2000. And it appears to me that this is a holistic solution for our society. Miss Daphne Gilbert is our guest today to speak to us more about this National Economic Security and Recovery Act that seems to be the good news for a solution going forward. Ms. Gilbert.
Hi, Phrantceena. Hi, Marques.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Yes. I happened to run across the NASARA, the National Economic Security and Recovery Act. But we all do know that will probably be one of the solutions for this global pandemic that we are faced with right now. But the main focus is that we have to have God that's in control. He's in control of it all. But this is just one solution, that can help this pandemic, is by getting rid of the mortgages, the income tax, or the tax wages, credit card debt, and what have you.
Well, Miss Gilbert, I tell you, this is an interesting project, and I know that our legal research team is looking at this as good news, as solutions going forward. Is that your perspective?
Yes, Phrantceena, it is. This is part of the new era, the new America, for the children, the new generation.
Well, that's what it's all about. And I certainly am enlightened myself. I'm 58 years old, and Marques and I talked about this earlier, and we've all put our arms around this when we look at our society today and the paycheck, folks are losing their jobs, homes, assets, school is different, law is different, sports, arts, and music is different. It's a new day in America. And it appears that this particular law that was even signed off 20 years ago by one of our presidents is certainly a big solution, and that all sides can come together on for our next generation. Is that your understanding as well, Ms. Gilbert?
Yes, Phrantceena. It's about credibility, being accountable and responsible as far as being a leader, with anything that you do. You have to have a credibility. And yes, this act has been passed, since March 2000. And it has not been, acted on, to be able to help, the country. And everybody is accountable for their actions.
Yes. And it seems like the children that's working on the legal research of this are really excited. They've got a breath of fresh air that there's a solution when there seems to be no solution from our leaders. That these children have come up with a great solution and doing their legal research on what we call the National Economic Security and Recovery Act. And we certainly encourage everyone to take a look at it and do their own research. And as we continue to look at new solutions going forward, holding our leaders accountable for what they said they will do, and holding ourselves accountable. Marques, do you have any other feedback you would like to add to the newest project before we go into our session of closure?
No, I think that both you ladies have made some great points around, there's got to be some type of way, there's got to be some type of relief for the new America, for these children, for our leaders of tomorrow. And anything we can do to lighten the load, to help them be less stressed, and get them thinking, Phrantceena, being more positive about becoming entrepreneurs and leaders and business moguls, because they see that there are potential things in place to help them do so, laws and policies, and we're looking to actually make this a better America, not just for them, but for all of us, but especially for them, because like you said a moment ago, Phrantceena, these are our leaders of tomorrow. And if they feel that they're less stressed, they have more they can get accomplished, and they can do things without thinking about heavy debt, or what they have to do is how to take care of their families, and we can pull and release some stress off of them, this will help, I feel, make a much better, brighter new America going forward.
Yes.
Well, thank you. And Miss Daphne Gilbert, do you have any closing remarks you would like to leave with our listeners on this particular project?
Yes. My closing on this topic is that research, educate, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Just research the NASARA and, understand it, exactly, what it's about as far as the National Economic Security and Recovery Act. Educate yourself, research. Once again, knowledge is power.
Thank you so much, Daphne. We totally agree with that. And for those of us listening that would like to give your feedback or comments on the New America and this project called the National Economic Security and Recovery Act of 2000, and would like to share your feedback, please email us at thenewamerica@CoachTateFoundation.com. We'd love to hear from you. This is the good news, and we are about the good news for our next generation. And in that regard, thank you, Ms. Gilbert, for your call-in. And, Marques, could you close us out with some of those key items that we discussed about the New America upcoming conference that we have to further elaborate on these key points?
Yes. So on November 19th and 20th in Asheville, North Carolina, we'll be having the New America Multicultural Leadership Conference. This is all about helping people to see the importance of having diversity, multicultural perspective, different thought process, different information process, different experience processes to really help improve workforce development. If our workforce development is bright and they see a great future and what they can do to help them get a good job, sustain a good job, take care of their families, and have a healthy, productive outlook on society and having that life they want to live for them and their families, I believe, Phrantceena, it's going to really help us have a stronger, healthier new America. So they're looking forward to this event November 19th and 20th in Asheville, North Carolina. Go to the www.CoachTateFoundation. Check out the website. Check out the information. You won't want to miss it. Phrantceena, myself, and Mr. Stedman Graham will be speaking at this event to help, and some other great people to help enlighten workforce development in the communities by shining a light on multicultural leadership perspectives.
Well, that's fine. And thank you so much, Marques, for that. And could you also, we are encouraging all of the participants to go to Amazon and share how they can read your book and the books of the presenters so that they are prepared for the seminar when it shows up here in November. Can you give us that information?
Yes, so you can go and get my book, which is The Success Cycle. It is on Amazon.com and or BossHubble.com. You can also go to our website, www.Marques, M-A-R-Q-U-E-S, Ogden, O-G-D-E-N.com, and check it out today. We'll be talking about the success cycle, ambition, creating your blueprint, drive, being inspired, over-motivated, and hard work, focusing on yourself and not the competition.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And, of course, my book is Our Sixth Sense and Purpose, The Power in Knowing Who You Are, and it's available as well at the Barnes & Noble stores and online at Amazon.com. So we're going to bring this session here to a close. It's been a great discussion on accountability. Thank you, my co-host, Marques Ogden. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, we look forward to our work together, and of course, we thank Ms. Daphne Gilbert for her insight and call-in, and we're going to prepare for a close as we continue this discussion next week. To all of our listeners, it's family time. It's time to get our accountability affairs in order today for our tomorrow. Together, we are one nation under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for all. And by the way, Isaiah 43:19, it's a new day. God says, I'm doing a new thing in heaven and in earth. Until next week, same time, same station. Praise 107.9, Jacksonville, Florida. I am Phrantceena Halres, and Marques, you are Marques Ogden, your host.
Empower your family with the dynamic new book by Phrantceena Halres, Our Sixth Sense and Purpose, The Power in Knowing Who You Are. It's the book that gives you insights into life's problems. Phrantceena Halres is an author, motivational speaker, and national broadcaster who believes the answers to your problems lies within the knowledge that was once traditionally passed down by families. But that knowledge has been short-circuited by today's faster pace. The book, Our Sixth Sense and Purpose, The Power in Knowing Who You Are, brings that accumulated wisdom to the problems that all families face. You'll find your copy of Our Sixth Sense and Purpose, The Power in Knowing Who You Are at Amazon and at better bookstores. Empower your life with the dynamic new book, Our Sixth Sense and Purpose, The Power in Knowing Who You Are by Phrantceena Halres.
Thank you for joining Phrantceena Halres on Empowered Family Talk. Tune in next week.